Hello, hello. This is Paper Cuts Included coming to you live from the Ninja Turtle sleeping blanket, and that's how I know it's legit. Today we are going to be finishing off our first book under the Manga Monday series, and thank God, because as much as I love talking this book, this is going to be the third Monday in a row we've talked about it, and want to get some more different books. But before that, if this is your first ever Paper Cuts Included video, we are a comic book YouTube channel ran by me and my two co-hosts, and we want to talk about what we love. And what we love is comic books. We talk about comic books, comic book art, art in general, artists, and we look at it under a technical aspect. Me and my co-host, we are working artists, so we talk about what works, what doesn't work, why the artist did this, why a little bit of the history of the art, the history of the book, stuff like that. Yes, I'll talk about the story, but it is more so a technical breakdown. I'd say it's about an 80-20% split in the actual breakdown of the book. If you want more of a story look at, I'd go look at channels like Comic Tropes, who do a really good job at looking at both the technical and story elements. But I guess before we look at the book, I'll show off some of my artwork first to prove that I'm a working artist. I like to do comic or prints. I like to print make and dabble in comic book printmaking. So I'm working on 3 prints right now that I hopefully get done by the end of this month. I'm working on this Ronin print right now, which is pretty dope. I only have 2 or 3 more layers I need to do, and yep. And then this 2012 Ninja Turtle print. This is the Neutralizer character. I really like his character design, so I'm toying with a print about it, a little one. This piece and probably this piece, 2 of the finished ones, I will be raffling off for our 40 subscriber special. Um, if you don't know, we at the near the beginning of this channel, we set a goal of 20 subscribers. We reached that in like 2 weeks, and then I set a goal of 40. I doubled it, and we are 2 subscribers away from getting to that. So once we do it, we're gonna be probably do a really big video about it. We will do, I'll raffle off 2 pieces of artwork to commenters. So be sure to comment on that video when that comes out. And another piece I'm working on, which probably won't get done in time to get raffled off, is this Mad Max Humongous print I'm working on. I've been rewatching the Mad Max movies, and I really like Humongous, the character. I might try to do a print for every Mad Max movie. So this will be my Road Warrior print. I just rewatched Fury Road last night, so there's a whole lot I could do for prints from that one. I can't, to begin to think what I'd do. If you like my art and if you want to see more, my links and stuff will be in the description below, along with my co-host. It will have links to our Instagrams, so you can see more of our artwork. There's our TeePublics. If anyone ever wants like a T-shirt, sticker, coffee cup, etc. of our artwork, it really means a lot to us. All the money we get from that account goes towards getting books for this channel. I'm an art student, so I don't really get the biggest funds to get books, but TeePublic really helps fund that. And then once we get our clubs memberships set up, that money will go towards getting more books too. But we still got a lot of books to talk about. I have almost 1,500 comic books, so if you want me to cover something specific, comment down below because I probably have it, and if I don't, I'll try to get a somewhat copy of it. I'm sure I could borrow a book from one of my co-hosts too, who also has a very sizable comic collection. So without further ado, let's finish Manga Monday. If this is your first ever Manga Monday, this is the part of the week where we look at a manga. I think I'm only going to do this, 1 month there'll be Manga Mondays, 1 month there'll be Madman Mondays. I've noticed that doing Manga Mondays, it doesn't burn me out of the book, but just talk, like, we had to break this up into 3 videos because there's just so much to talk about, and it's good too. But I don't want to just get into a rut where every week is already planned out completely, a Monday, a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of themes. I want to just break it up. So that's what I'm probably going to try to do is 1 month will be a Manga Monday, and then 1 month will be a Madman Monday, and then another month will be Magnola Monday, stuff like that, keeping it interesting, keeping it, fluid. And so, yeah. Let me know what you think about that, or should I just change it every week? Like, one week we'll do Manga Monday, next week Madman Monday, Magnolia Monday, and then it'll just repeat itself. You know. But we'll cross that bridge. Well, I guess we are crossing that bridge. So just comment down below what you think works, or what you want. Not that it worked, but what you guys want. But no, we are going to be looking at the final three stories in the first, I guess, collected book volume of Dorohedoro by Q Hayashida. I'm just going to call her Q because I don't want to mispronounce her name and offend people of, her culture. So I'm just going to be calling her Q. This is one of my favorite mangas of all time. It's Akira and Dorohedoro. I love it a whole lot. It has a very unique art style. The first time I read it, I was like, I've never seen a manga like this. I read it at the height of my manga reading, which was about probably junior, senior year of high school. I don't really read mangas that much anymore because there's elements of manga that I don't feel right reading, and we'll get that bridge one day. But no, so this is one of my favorite. Like I said, if you want just a crazy ride, I highly recommend it. It's out of the box. It's an adventure comic. So let's just dive right into it with Spell 5 with a really good opening. Just we're kind of finishing out our cast of characters in this first book, which it does a really good job of. Whoever collected this first volume, it ends with you kind of knowing all the players in the game, your main characters who are going to be there from probably book one to the end of the series. And now you're kind of getting the other side, our antagonist, or the people our heroes have to face. You know, so we got Ebisu, Fujita, um, In and Noi, or Shin and Noi. That's In. Oops. So let's get into it. Spell 5, eat quietly during meals. But no, I love Q style. I think it has a really great mix of a rough sketchiness with a very formal look. And I feel like you can see that mix of sketch with like the backgrounds here compared to the floor. It looks very good. That's architecture is really hard. I see people mess it up all the time. They either make it look too blocky or they spend way too much time on it and they don't, give focus to the other things in it. Q does a really good job of blending it and mixing it. I think it's a very notable scene. It's a very great work of art. I know her art has been in exhibitions, which I'd love to get a hold of an exhibition book of one of her, like I said, exhibitions, because I think that would be a cool video to do. I think one of the few downsides is it's going to be only in Japanese. Oh, excuse me, I was drinking some water. But no, like a lot of people discredit mangas. They'll say, for some reason, like they don't think it belongs in a comic book shop, or they'll never get a chance because it's Japanese, it's foreign. They're amazing. If you want to learn great black and white skills, if you want to learn just how to make a good story with limited pages, because they don't come out like this, right? They come out in magazines. Like I don't know, like the chapters. So this spell is going to be one issue, right? So if you just need help coming up with how to, do a story from a 20-page story that's going to keep people coming back, look at mangas in a smaller scale, right? Like a manga's probably not going to have more than 5 or 6 panels a page. I feel like Sex is really stretching it. Like you're going to see a lot of 3, 4 panel artworks, and you got to figure out how to make that work with only 20 pages. I would argue they have like half the amount of room for stuff that an American artist does. So they're really, manga's really good for studying that, studying just emotion. I feel like manga artists are super great at showing the human emotion and expressionalism, and there's a lot of stuff we could go on. That'll probably be a video I do, is a manga overview, why we should read mangas, why we should study them, why should we appreciate them. I'm gonna have to write that down because that actually does sound good. I just thought of that. But no, the story so far is N is our antagonist of the story. Our story is about Kaiman and his friend Nikaido trying to figure out who turned him into what he is. He has an alligator face for a head. And to do that, they have to go around killing sorcerers. And En doesn't like that, so he's trying to figure out who he is. And he's interrogating this handsome devil who's trying to kill him. So that's our story so far. There's a little bit more, but hey, watch our first video or second video to know where we're at. Links will be in the description down below. But no, like I said, we're already seeing that really cool emotional work. Just him cackling and all of that. I just think it. I don't know. I just like it a whole lot. It. I feel like I said, manga artists are really good at the human expressionism. I feel like compared to American artists look very stiff in their expressions. Hell, one of our most popular characters is a dark, brooding guy in a bat costume. Who, "Oh, I'm so serious." There's not going to be a wide range of emotions. That's why there's characters like Catwoman to balance it. But manga, everyone has that wide range of emotions, which will get you some really interesting art. And another a characteristic of Q's artwork is these like awesome collage pieces that she'll do at times, and I really like them. I think they're really interesting. It really just puts the book on a whole nother level. It's something that I'm going to remember from the book, and that's what you want to do as an artist, a comic book artist, is have something that people will remember from your book. What are they going to tell their friends? What are they going to tell their colleagues? What's going to help sell your book? Because at the end of the day, that's what you have to figure out is how you going to sell your book, how you going to keep the lights on, keep a cheeseburger in your belly, stuff like that. How does it work? Because you got to sell books. That might sound a little capitalistic of me, but that's something we all got to do as artists is make bread. We got to make bread to make our love projects. And sometimes you're going to succeed, sometimes you're going to fail, and it's just picking yourself up. But we'll get back to it. This collage stuff is just so good. Having like just really good sketch work with actual probably reels that she draws the pictures of Ebisu in. It just works really good. Even having a grid method. I wonder if that's how Q does some of her artwork, is gridding a lot of it out. I've never really gridded it too well. I'm sure my teacher tried to teach it to me, but I was a little blockhead and didn't listen. And just was like, no, I just want to draw random things. So. And just great, compositional work too, having the conversation in so many different angles. Like in looking up at the head, or just cutting to all these different views. The story could have been from this angle for this entire page. And I feel like we would have lost. The book would have looked stagnant. We talk about a lot. I'm sure the two people who have unsubscribed from this channel unsubscribe because I bring this up so much, is the talking heads problem. Where if you just have panels that look the same, like if this was the same for every panel, it would look boring, get very stagnant. The reader would not want to keep reading it, and they'd put it down. So you want to try to figure out to keep your book flowing organically and just flowing, just organically. What makes the reader happy subconsciously? What's going to keep them reading? That's the name of the game. Keep you guys reading. And we're just going to keep going. Another one of Q's really awesome qualities is making her characters look super unique, super memorable. I feel like a lot of her figures you're going to look at and you're not going to be able to forget them. We're in the sorcerer world right now, and all the sorcerers have a mask, and the mask kind of tells a little bit about the personality. It's their character trait. So a guy who runs the clothing store has like a orbiting planet as his mask, and that's really cool. It's what I'm gonna remember about him. In the six books I have of Dorohedoro, this guy doesn't show up anymore, but yet I remember him, and that's something you want to do. Is how do you make your characters memorable? But no, we're getting ready for a little party, so Fujita and Ebisu got to get some fancy clothes on. We're just gonna skip through that. Don't want YouTube to get mad at me. I don't really know what YouTube gets mad about art wise. I feel like if it's not just crossing the line, let's say like a brat pack situation, they won't get mad, but I don't want to find out. I'm gonna put my finger over that too early, but no, really good architecture right there. You know, really good at drawing the figures from different angles or perspectives. You know, and like having Ebisu and Fujita at a distance here, and you know bringing that in, putting more detail into her. Um, I just think works really good and just works at I don't know. It just adds a little bit of character to the book, you know. And yes, she has a titty poking out. You know, get your load off, pervs. But we're looking at art here. I could care less as long as that doesn't get me in trouble on YouTube. But a cute character moment is like we just established the sorcerers wear a mask. These two characters, Shin and Noi, are ends enforcers, and Noi has to remind Shin to turn his mask around because apparently he's been wearing it backwards the whole time. Which I don't know, it's a cool little moment. There was no reason for that character to have that quality. We could have just believed, you know, the way he wore his mask was the same way the entire time, but it wasn't. And that's just a manga artists do a really good job at building on characters, having great character arcs, character growth. So another thing you can look at through manga is the character progressions. You know, or the constant shaking, establishing that getting that Fujita is really excited to see him. He's really just he's our young buck character. He's probably, I guess, Ebisu's younger, but Fujita's the young guy. He's probably the youngest guy character. And so he has that, I'm so excited to meet you. I've heard so much about you. I'm going to shake your hand 1,000 times, which really, reads really well here and stuff. And just having, I love this panel because it's a Dutch angle. It's not perfectly straight. It's curved a little bit and does add a little bit of flair to the book. So that's another thing to remember to do in your books. Different perspectives, different angles can add a lot to your book, make it flow really good, make it memorable, you know, because when your reader, I remember this page. I think it's a very solid page because, it's the first time we see um, Shin and Noi with their mask, or, almost with their mask off. I guess it's the first time we see Shin with his mask off. But it just, I don't know. I'm going to remember it as a Dutch angle, not a straight on angle, because it is a Dutch angle. But no, the gang's all there, the sorcerer gang, if you will, and I think it's really important to have this moment. This chapter's kind of showing that these guys aren't, I guess straight villains. There's a little bit of humor to them, which is important. I have not finished this series, but it's kind of hard to say that N and them are villains when they're just trying to figure out who's trying to kill them. That being Kaiman and Nikaido. So, it's this sort of just cute moment. I could see why people would root for Kaiman in them, and I could see why people would root for N in them. It's just a really, I guess that's just a testament to how good Q is at making characters. I don't want to see either side get hurt. I want to see them leave peacefully by the end of it. You know, and having this great character moment of everyone trying to order a menu item. Or I guess it's continued on the next page. I guess not. But no, we're establishing that Noi and In are cousins, um which is an important thing. You know, yeah, it's just an important thing. We're establishing that Shin isn't he might be wearing a suit, but he doesn't know all the fancy stuff. He doesn't know what braise means. He doesn't know what tartar means. But just having cool little moments that add to the character, establishing that those traits, right? Noi knows what tartar is, so we're getting that she's, you know, they're from opposite sides of the tracks. They might work together, but one will learn lived in poverty in the hole, and we learned that one's lived in the sorcerer world all her life, having the benefits of doing it. So a little day and night situation, which is cool. They'll build on that as the book goes on, and this is the seeds of that. part of it. We get seeds of that in chapters before, but it's coming. Putting little seeds in each chapter, and that's how you build up your characters. Don't do giant character moments at once and then wait 20 issues and do another. Add those little seeds. That's important. Just do stuff like that, and your characters are going to be more memorable, and just you're going to have people latch on to them. Like, from what I've read so far, which I've read six or eight books of this, so about a third or fourth of the entire series, there has not been a character that I have not liked in regards to, like, is this a good character on a technical aspect? And they all are. I haven't found one where I'm like, ooh, that character, why'd you add that? That sucks. You know? And we're just going with some, great one of N's, I guess, employees that this is what their costume's gonna look like, which it's a great costume. Just great expression, questions, excitement, blank, happy, devilish. It just works really good. Q's really good at showing that emotion, that wide range. This 2-page spread really shows how far she can push that. And that's something you gotta practice. Like I've talked about on the channel, it takes 1,000 hours to get better. It takes 1,000 hours of actually being at the table and drawing, and it takes 1,000 hours of studying to get better. And this is part of that 1,000 hours of practical and studying. Study an anatomy, study, watch a movie, take pictures of every facial expression that looks cool, looks interesting, or just stuff you need to practice, and then practice it for an hour a day, for 30 minutes a day, for your warm-up sketch. Just practice those expressions because you'll get a lot out of it. I should probably do that more than I do. I do a lot of headshots, but I don't do, I feel like my range of emotions is limited. So doing stuff like that is really going to help you out as an artist, or just as an artist. I don't know what else it'd help you out as. But I guess that philosophy and 1,000 hours would help you too. And on more character trait, like we said, Shin and Noi are N's cleaners. His what a cleaner is. He needs someone killed. They kill him for him. They clean it up. And so they're going after the main character now, and he's excited to get it. So we're getting that, this chapter's moving forward. It's, we're going to get hopefully a big fight soon. Not in this book, but in the next one. And we're getting more, so we're kind of learning, you know, now noise sorcery. We learned what ends was, or not ends, Shin. He can kind of dismember people but keep them alive, and we're learning what noise is. And it's done well here. She can heal people. She's a healer, but we don't know how yet. Just bump that. And then we're getting some sorcerers who are about to do some transmutate action on. And it's done really well here. These transmutation sorcerers turns out to be assassins there to kill In. N's one of the top dogs in this sorcery world, but for some reason everyone wants him dead. But he never does outright villainous things. I guess he does in ways, but here I wouldn't say he's a villain. They're not really establishing why people would want to kill him other than he's, just the top dog and everyone wants to be that person. So, no, what's gonna happen? Well, who throws the fork and knife? Well, good old ends cleaners. Getting more character stuff. Noi just cussing at her cousin, who we've seen as very powerful. Everyone wants him dead for a reason, and she throws the fork with Shin being, "You shouldn't you have thrown the knife?" And they're going to try to get away, and we get to see En, I guess, uses his powers often, but not as often as you would think. And it's very powerful. He literally just turns them to mushrooms like that. And it's just a very like, oh crap, what can this guy do to our main characters? What is going to happen to our main characters? If he can do that, how's that final confrontation going to go down, if there is one? And then the book ends with not the book, the chapter ends with them learning that all the mushrooms they just ate were people that En turned into. And then we cut to end it we cut back to Nikaido and Kaiman. And that's the end of it, of that first chapter. Really good chapter. It did really well establishing our second group, our other characters, our, antagonist, if you will, with air quotations. The people that Kaiman's out to kill and they're out to kill him. So, what else would you call them other than antagonist? And I think that's done really well is you could choose a side to be on, and it's not a side of, well, I'm right and they're wrong. It's probably which characters you like more. And the last chapter, main chapter, because there is a bonus chapter we'll look at, is Nikaido and Kaiman travel in town looking for a sorcerer who specializes in facial magic. you know, and we're seeing, so they live in the hole. The hole and the sorcerer world are two different worlds, right? The hole is where the sorcerers come to experiment and practice magic. And Kaiman's a victim of it, and so is this bartender. And a cool little character trait is this poor bartender just spits like hell when he talks. You know, and he's getting it all in their beer, and it's just interesting. But no, I lost my train of thought. But no, that's the story. They're looking for a sorcerer with really well done motorcycles. I can't draw a motorcycle to save my life for some reason, but yeah, Q does it really well. But no, they're going to a really seedy part of town, which all the whole seedy, but this one especially. We're seeing these giant gates with bodies hanging from them, dismembered heads. I really like the little height difference here. They could have made Nikaido and Kaiman on the same level, but Nikaido's almost cut off completely from the panel. We have a really good, just it's a really good panel. This is probably my favorite panel in the book. One of them. I just think it works really well. It really plays into that. I don't know, just that their characters. I feel like, and they're going to a hotel, except it's a tent city. Oh, I'm losing my voice a little bit. So they're gonna go set up a tent, and we get to see how badass Nikaido is. We've seen a little bit of it. She's been able to break people's fingers with a twist of her fingers, kick them right in the face. But this chapter does help us see that, it's not just Kaiman holding all the, it's she can hold her own, and probably more than her own. She could probably beat Kaiman in a fight, I bet. But no, she goes to the market, which is only serving two things right now: pork broth and mochi dumplings, and she's got to make a full meal out of that. On our way back, she runs into some ruffians, some gang members. A classic little tension moment is what our main character's got to get held up at one point, right? We got to see how, probably a tip every artist should do. If you want to make your character look cool at the beginning of your book, have them get held up at once so they can beat up some muggers, because that's an easy way to show how strong they are, and probably a quick way to do it. And you could have it only be one mugger, you could have it be three muggers. It's just a fun way to show how your character is different than the normal guy, or opposite. Show that your character gets beat up by the normal guy and they have to grow to become stronger. It's just one of those classic storytelling devices that I think we should all keep in our back pocket. And so she's getting attacked by three guys, and she beats them all and does some really cool stuff to do it. Cuts their heads off, hits them so hard their eyes literally pop out, with the funny moment being one of their eyes gets stepped on. It's just, we're seeing how just badass she is, which Q does a really good job with all of her female characters. A lot, as I'm sure a female herself, she doesn't want to portray, oh, help me, Kaiman, I'm stuck in another castle. A lot of her female characters could probably beat all the male characters in this book, which is really cool. This book would be not as good if Nikaido was the damsel in distress. If she got beat up by these three guys, and then this chapter, the rest of it is Kaiman getting her back, it wouldn't be that good of a book, in my opinion. But no, and she hasn't even broken a sweat yet, you know. But no, we're back to the I guess their tent hotel. They like, who could sleep in a place like this, and Kaiman's already asleep. You know, like I said, playing those seeds of character growth. You know, Nikaido can't sleep in a place that rugged. Kaiman falls asleep like that though. You know, so now we're at the bar already. You know, if this was a Marvel book, we probably wouldn't be at the bar for another 5 issues. But hey, this is manga, baby. We don't get that much room to go. So it has some really great artwork too, especially this page, those close ups of Kaiman. Like I said, I want to see what a reference was for Kaiman. Did she go to a zoo for like a month straight and just study a specific reptile? You know? So no, he finds the needle, which I believe his name is, and he gets some in his mouth because there's a guy who's living in his mouth who tells him if he's the sorcerer who's done it or not, and this one ain't. You know, and always really interesting how it does. It once like, what is this? Who is this? You know, if this was the, because you gotta remember these were split as like single issue or single chapters in a magazine. So if this was the first, you know, if this was in the magazine the first time you picked it up, will this have you come back to get the next magazine or have you buy the trade? Yeah, I think it would. It's super dope. It's very interesting. It's a very what the hell is happening book. It'll just have you coming and going, you know. And he usually Kaiman will kill the sorcerer, but here he doesn't. You know, in the probably the chapter before last we established, he does feel remorse. He's not just a killing machine, and we're getting it here. We're getting that here with him not killing this sorcerer. He could so easily, but yet he doesn't. Ooh, excuse me. Whew, burped. But no, just a cool moment. And Nikaido gets her fortune told, where she's warned that she'll have some heart trouble with Shin in the background. Really building up to that. Ooh, are they gonna fight this collected issue? No, no. An easy way to sell the next chapter is there's gonna be a fight soon, which it's probably the next chapter, or maybe the one afterwards. I bet it's in the one afterwards if I think I remember how it goes. But no, probably my favorite panel is Kaiman shedding, which just looks super awesome. Like Q had to look at a reference for that to know how it works, or look at a book, or I guess a book's a reference. But it just worked. It's just very interesting, and it just kind of that's how this chapter or this whole collected volume ends, is they just learn that he sheds. And that's an interesting way. Each chapter ends interesting in a way that, oh, well, that's funny, or oh, it didn't really do much. And here we just end it with him learning it sheds. And like I said, that's something you're going to remember about the character. You're going to remember about the chapters. Hey, the main character literally sheds his skin. Isn't that neat? Isn't that cool? Isn't that crazy? Weird? And that's what sold me on this book, is how crazy it was, how just unorthodox it was as a manga. It's just insane. And that's why I've bought a third of the series, and why I'm probably going to try to buy the rest now. I don't know why I didn't try to buy the rest. I think it was just because, mangas on Amazon are like $15 each. And I could buy like 5 comic books or more, probably, depending on where you're at, for $15. So I was like, do I want to get one manga or a lot of comic books? And usually the comic books win. But hey, ad revenue, public sales, memberships, once we get those, we'll go into getting more books like this. And no, here is a little extra part. This is a book that, or a chapter that you can only get in these collected trades, if you will. And so I guess they're probably not canon, but they probably are. They help. They just help world build in a fun, good way. I really like how it does it. So here we get to learn, how the sorcerer's mask are made, and just interactions between Fujita and Noi and Shin, and just really good, wholesome moments in a way. all the weak sorcerers have to go through the left door, which looks busted, broken, whereas the powerful sorcerers go through the right door, which is a literal red carpet, pristine door to it. So it helps establish that Fujita is down on his luck, not a great sorcerer, and just, betting or doubling down that Noi and Shin, super powerful sorcerers. They're end cleaners for a reason. And you know, I don't know. It just helps build the world, and that's sometimes what you need to do. So have maybe at the end of your book 2 pages building up on something, and that could be your warm up sketch process or something like that. And so, yep. So, and she does it in a very interesting way. I just noticed is that the composition is split into halves. The top will be I guess the honorable, or not honorable, just the up and up side of Noi and Shin getting their new mask. Hand making them. Putting in fresh ingredients to make them and stuff like that. Whereas the bottom is an assembly line. Hurry your asses up. We don't have all day. And just done really well. He looks like he's a little hurt doing it, whereas they're just cooking, having fun cooking. And it I just love stuff like that. It adds a couple points of awesomeness to the book, to the artist, when they do stuff like this, and it's done really well. If this was done poorly, it would probably hinder the book, but yet we're doing this to help build on those characters, plant those seeds. You need limbs for on a tree for a viewer to grab onto and relate to a character, and they're doing that right here. We can relate to Fujita's suffering, how he's down on his luck, because we could have been those people in lives. I know I was, or we know people in his lives, or maybe we still are. Where I've lost my page. Whereas the top page is Shannon Noi just doing it effortlessly. But no, we're still getting it. With Shin, he gets his mask personally done by the devil, and Fujita not so lucky. Um, he's trying to bribe the devil. It don't really work that well. It gets blown up in his face, and you know that's it, and it's done really well. At the end we just see a smoking Fujita, which I always, you know, as an American, that just reminds me of Looney Tunes in a way. Seeing Daffy Duck just smoking from getting exploded by Bugs Bunny at the end of it. So that is the end of Dorohedoro Book One. Um, it's been a fun under the microscope. I did not think it would be so long that I'd have to split it into 3 videos, but I'm really glad I did, because it's been really fun doing. I've learned a lot compositional wise, black and art wise. I hope you guys have too. Like I said, I think I'm going to be doing manga, a chapter of manga every other month. So probably starting in July, we'll pick it back up. But for the rest of June, we're going to be doing Madman Mondays. So or just comment what you think, what you guys want. Do you want more manga, and we can just do a manga every week for a while until I run out of mangas, which probably won't be anytime soon. If I had to split this one into 3 videos, that's almost a whole month right there. Or do you want me to just kind of rotate it around and have, like I said, a Madman Monday or a Magnola Monday, stuff like that. So just comment down below. I respond to every comment. I guess I'll just get into the end of it. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you. That really helps us out. The longer people watch these videos, the more it helps us with the algorithm. Um, we have really good days and bad days when it comes to algorithm, but we've been on an up track recently. So thank you for everyone who's been watching the videos. Thank you to everyone who subscribed so far, and thank you if this is your first ever video. I hope I sold it and you guys want to watch more of this kind of stuff. I learned a lot doing this. I hope you guys too. I hope I sound educated when I do these videos. So if you found something you like, give us a like. What is it? Like, comment, subscribe. that really helps us out, really pushes the video to people who want to watch them like you. That, like I said, our summer goal is 40 subscribers and we're at 38. And my like bonus goal is we hit that by the end of June. And then I think I'm going to push it to 100 subscribers by summer and see if we can hit that. We're going to have to do a big celebration for when we hit 100, because it's not an if, it's a win. Because it's been really fun getting to meet some people, online, of course, talk about books, talk about comic books. This is a real passion project of mine. So it's been fun. This is probably Monday's video, or it's Manga Monday, but I think it's going to be a double header. I think there's probably going to be 2 videos Monday, maybe not, maybe 2 videos Tuesday, because me and one of my co-hosts might be filming something in an hour or two. So, work in progress on that one. So, we'll see on that. But it's been real fun. Like I said, if you like something, like, comment, subscribe. Helps us out a lot. I respond to every comment. I love comment or talking to you guys. It's been real fun. And I guess I'll send you out of here on some marching orders before I lose my voice. Make more art.